Hi there everyone, welcome to the third edition of Tips for Recruitment. This week we're going to be taking a look at how to put your CV together before you send it out for that job application. But before we do this, let me share this. Several months ago, I got acquainted with this young graduate via LinkedIn. He had reached out to me with the hopes of getting an internship position with the investment firm that I work with. Unfortunately, we had no opening, but I gave him a tip on how to carry on with his career pursuits, and we kept in touch. Very recently, he sent me a message that really got me excited and gave me encouragement. You know, when you begin a project like this, you hope that it will impact positively on someone's life. When that happens, you know, almost immediately, it gives you a great sense of gratification, and this is how I feel. Now, I have this young man's written permission to share this with you. His name is Olufikayo Oweye. Now, this is the message that he sent. Hello, ma. I have decided to commence an 8-week training wicked classes at this academy. No free adverts. It's an academy where graduates are taught soft skills that will be useful at work, and most importantly, training on skills needed in investment banking and consulting. It is handled by professionals from investment consulting and advisory firms. I will try to make the best use of this training to make me more employable. Getting a job is a big battle that must be won. It can be depressing and frustrating, and then he closes by sharing his appreciation. Olufikayo Oweye, I thank you for sharing this with me. I believe what you're doing is very laudable, and I wish you every success in your career pursuits. Besides this, what this young man has taught me is, you know, he's extremely determined. He wants to be an investment banker, and he's sticking to it. And secondly, instead of, you know, wasting time sitting around, he has chosen to invest his time wisely, you know, by gaining skills that will be useful to him when that job comes. So I'm hoping that as I've shared this young man's experience, someone out there would, you know, would take it on board and do the same thing. There's no need sitting around doing nothing. You can use your time positively, like we discussed weeks ago. Olufikayo, I wish you luck, like I said, and I thank you for your graciousness in sharing this experience with me. So this week, let's look at your CV. What does a CV mean to an applicant? I'll explain. A CV is the most important document you can hold if you're a job applicant. This week, before we go any further, we're going to be looking at putting your CV together, but this time we're going to be paying attention to fresh graduates. So as a fresh graduate, you will not be needing a CV. What you'll be needing is a resume, and I will explain why. A CV, which is short for curriculum vitae, simply means history. Now, for you to have history, that connotes that you must have had years of experience. So as a fresh graduate or an individual with little or no experience, you do not have history. So what you would need is a resume, which is a one-page document, or at the most 2 pages. Really, I believe that everybody's CV should be shortened to 2 pages because it makes it easier to focus. You know, this is in the eye of the employer. It makes it easier to focus. So what is your CV to you? What does it mean? Like I said, it's the most important document you can hold as a job applicant. Your CV is a direct representative of you. Your CV is you on paper. It is the first impression that any employer has of you. So it's extremely crucial for you to take time to put it together. You must tailor your CV in such a way that it compels any employer to invite you for an interview with the hopes of actually getting that job. So how do you put your CV together? First off, you must remember to use your real names. I have seen individuals send out their job applications or their CVs or resumes, as the case may be, with nicknames and pet names. That's not for an official document. Remember, your CV is what can either make or mar your career. So it's very important for you to pay careful attention to it at all times. Now you have put your name. The next thing is you must put a current address, where you live, where you can be reached, where if the employer chooses to send out an invite to you to come for an interview, that invitation will get to you. So put a current address. Remember, if you move, make your CV current at all times. Put a current address. Besides that, ensure that your email address that you provide on your CV is actually accurate. Make sure that it's an active email address. Sometimes employers will not send out a hard copy invite. They'll just send you an email. So it's important for that email to get to you. If it doesn't reach you, then you lose the opportunity of being called for a job interview. Then your phone number or your mobile number, please ensure that all the digits are there. Do not put one or miss one or two or mix it up. Ensure that it's your own number. Sometimes people make the mistakes of putting either the mobile numbers of their spouses, of that of their friends, or siblings. Please ensure that it's a number that once the employer calls, you can be reached. Leaving that, after you have done this, what is the next thing that you need to pay attention to? The next thing, as a fresh graduate, is for you to have a personal statement. Now, a personal statement is where you state out your skills, or more like your abilities, not skills now, more like your abilities, what would attract an employer to call you. Oh, I'm very diligent, over time while I was in school, I got an award for being the most diligent student, for being the most innovative. I'm very cordial, I work well with people. You should work well with people, because I'm sure as a student you had projects where you were grouped, so you should work well with people. I'm very friendly, I'm very polite, and all of those things. Now, to take a second out, I saw this personal statement from a fresh graduate that caught my attention, and I'd like to share that again with you guys. I have had permission to share this, so here goes. I am a recent first-class graduate of accounting and a final level professional student of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, who is passionate about the innovations of blockchain technology with regards to how it can improve the realm of business and finance in general. I am always ready to learn and positively manipulate new experiences towards achieving a greater advantage. I am fully aware that I need practical experience in order to enable me explore through study the core concepts of accounting and finance. Hence, I am currently seeking finance and consultancy related graduate internships. Simple. She has stated who she is and what she can offer. So it's important that your personal statement is kept very simple. Keep it clean, keep it fresh. I advise that you go online, look for personal statements for fresh graduates, so that you can get tips on how you can make your own more impressive, and hopefully catch the eye of the employer. Now, after you have done this, the next thing that you must do is outline your educational background chronologically, starting from the most recent, and then you move downwards. So MBA, if you've gotten that, professional qualifications, if you've gotten that, then your BSc, or BA, or whichever one that you have, and then secondary school, that's where you should stop. We all went to primary school, we all went to nursery school, we know. So just stop at that, and ensure that you include the dates, ensure that you graduated, ensure that you put what you have, what qualifications that you have, and most importantly, include the grades that you got. This is very important. Leaving that, then you go to your personal details, where this is not where you outline, okay, this old, I'm from this state, I'm that, okay. Let me confess, you do not necessarily have to put your state of origin or your date of birth. Now, the reason I say this is that it could discriminate against you. Let your abilities, your capabilities be what would attract the employer, not your state of origin or your date of birth. That's how old you are. So you can leave those two out. Let every other thing speak for itself, and then when you're called for the interview, then you can give them that information. Then if the job vacancy has asked for you to include referees, please include referees. Some employers ask for 3, some ask for 2. Basic, it's 2, but you can make it up to 3 if the employer wants. So now that you have your CV in place, what else do you need to understand? I am taking the time to say this because your CV, most employers have about 30 seconds to 45 seconds to glance through your CV. So everything that is important needs to be on that first page almost immediately. The employer should be able to catch the important details of what your CV has to offer. So remember this as you put your CV together. Before you decide that, oh, my CV is now complete or my resume is now complete, remember to look through, peruse it, get someone else to review it with you, check for spelling errors, check for punctuation marks, ensure that you've used them appropriately. And then when you have done all of this, remember to save your CV as your name on the CV. It is you on paper, on the document. This is who is representing you. As I said, it's the first impression any employer has of you. So on it, save your CV as your name. For instance, if I'm saving my CV, I'll save it as Vivian Asukwon. That's what you should do. Do not save your CV as my CV. Nobody knows who my CV is. Pay particular attention to this. Remember to do this at all times. And ensure that your CV is tailored to the job opening. Please remember this. For instance, if that job opening is for an admin officer and it has been stated there in that job vacancy that the position should be your subject matter, please remember to do this. Your subject matter should read admin officer. Before you send out your CV also remember to check and cross-check that you have actually attached your CV. There's so many times that I have received applications and no attachments. Now, if you do not meet someone that is as patient as I am, then you run the risk of not being called for an interview. I would actually write back to say no attachment. So be very careful of this. And in sending out your CV, or before you send it out, I advise let it be saved as a Microsoft Word document. It is the most, it's rather the easiest format, to open. Everybody has access to it. So leave out all those other formats that you feel will make your CV, look a little bit more elegant. Just save it as a Microsoft Word document. It's easy to open, and it will be faster, to process. So please also bear this in mind. Then when you do that, before you click send, remember to acknowledge the person who you hope will consider your CV. What do I mean by this? Most applicants these days, what they do is they know, okay, there's a job opening, and they just send out their CVs. All you just receive is a beep. You've received a mail, and you open it, and all you see is my CV. No message, nothing. Your CV to what? You must be responding to something. So it's important for you to do this. Dear sir, dear madam, if you know the name of the person, dear Vivian. If you do not, dear hiring manager, or dear employer, or dear recruiter, kindly find my CV, attached for the role of admin officer for your consideration. And then you say thank you. And then you close out, it shows that you're actually courteous. After all, you have stated in your personal statement that you're courteous, you're respectful, and all of that. So it must show, in the actual application. This will give you, it will gain you, quick, very quick review from the employer. So please pay particular attention to all the tips that I have given. Remember, like I said, your CV is the most important document that any applicant can have. This is where we're going to stop this week. Next week, we're going to continue from this point because there's still so much to share. Like I said before, most job applicants can have their CVs on 2 pages, even if they have had years of experience. And I'll show you how you can do this, so that you can have your CV, your application processed very quickly. Thank you for listening. If you have gained anything from these tips that I have shared today, please remember to click the like button, remember to share, and most importantly, remember to subscribe. Have a very great week, you all. Thank you.